Do you want to make a cheap and easy but super practical home for your queen ant or colony that actually works? I'm going to teach you everything you need to know on making your own ant nest, or more specifically, a tubs and tubes setup. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Ant Keeper, where I upload every week about all things ant related. If you find yourself enjoying this video, then subscribe and join the AK colony. Your support really helps me out and I really appreciate it. The humble and practical test tube setup is the bread and butter to ant keeping. Without it, this simple but wildly practical home would make keeping ants in the founding stage a whole lot trickier. However, sometimes the test tube setup just isn't the right fit for those queen ants nesting in their founding chamber. The greenhead ant is a perfect example. You see, ants like the greenhead ants are semi-colostral, meaning they need to leave the home to search out for food. This is where the test tube setup on its own isn't enough to fill the instinctive needs of the queen ant. This is where creating an outworld or extended area for the queen ants to roam in comes in. But there's also another way we can house our semi-colostral ants. The tubs and tubes setup is perfect for semi-colostral ants and small colonies, as it provides an area for the queen ant to explore and forage for food instead of being locked up inside a test tube. I've had mixed results with ant keepers who've tried this method for housing their ants, so I wanted to try this method for myself and see how one of my colonies adapts and grows inside this new world. I'm going to use our Camponotus consobrinus colony for this setup. We've had this colony for a little while now, and the queen does a great job at laying new eggs. The brood develops well, but then something terrible happens every time. Notice how many workers there are? Well, that's about how many workers there ever is. As soon as a new worker emerges out of its cocoon, another worker dies within days after. I've tried a couple different things to try and prevent this from happening, like changing their diet, or moving them into a bigger test tube for more space, even adding heat to encourage developmental growth for the brood, but nothing has worked so far. If you've ever had this problem before and actually figured out how you resolved it, let me know in the comment section below. I'd really love to know. I'm going to move this colony into their very own tubs and tube setup to see if this helps them grow into a productive colony. But first, I have an exciting announcement. I'm running another competition. Would you like to win an AUS acrylic founding nest and shield with free postage? To enter, simply subscribe to my YouTube channel and send me a screenshot that you've subscribed, or set your subscriptions to public so that I can see that you've entered. Second, hit the bell icon. And third, in the comment section below, tell me your favorite ant genus or species. The winner will be announced live on Instagram next Saturday, the 5th of February at 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I'll mention the winner in the next YouTube video for those who don't have Instagram. Also, like all competitions I've ran in the past, it's free postage to anyone, regardless of where you live. I know that about 50% of my viewers on this channel aren't subscribed. If you're one of those people who are watching this video, all I can say is subscribe. Do it. You won't regret it. Alright, that's enough. On a serious note, good luck to everyone who enters the competition. To make a tubs and tube setup is really simple. Everything you need is pretty easy to get, and the best part is, everything is really cheap. First, you need a tub of some kind. The size isn't critical in itself, as long as the tub you use has enough depth so the ants can't escape easily. You can use either plastic, acrylic or glass for the tub. They'll work, however glass has a better refractive index, meaning it's clearer to see through, but it reflects more light. I think the clearer to see through the better, making glass my preferred choice whenever I can get it. But plastic or acrylic are great choices too. The next step is optional. If you want, you can drill a hole in the side of the tub, which can be later used to either connect a test tube full of water or connect another space for ants to move into at a later time. If you decide to drill a hole but don't want to connect anything yet, you can block it up with cotton or tape. For this setup though, I'm going to skip that step. Once you've picked your tub, now is a great time to apply the Fluon. For those who don't know, Fluon is a non-toxic, slippery barrier that ants cannot walk across. Like usual, I applied the Fluon in a circular motion across the top perimeter of the tub, then flipped the tub upside down to minimize drip marks. I then left it for 5 minutes to dry, Then clean up the bottom edge with a freshly water-soaked piece of cotton to give a cleaner look. Remember to reapply your protective barrier regularly as it does wear out eventually. I've done some tests on my own colonies and found that Fluon is reliable for about 2 weeks before I can begin to see workers making their escape. As a rule, I reapply the Fluon every week for bigger colonies and every 2 weeks for smaller colonies. This may be overkill, but I prefer the edge on the side of caution than rather have a worker escape unnecessarily. Next is the fun part, decoration. When decorating, you can go as extravagant as you like. Maybe you want to replicate a scene from a futuristic sci-fi blockbuster, or perhaps you want to go for a practical, easy to clean and maintain design, or something in between. Whatever you choose, this is the perfect opportunity to be creative. Personally, I prefer naturalistic designs that closely resemble what the chosen ant's habitat would have looked like. I've personally found banded sugar ant nests in a variety of areas, including rotting trees, between rocks, and even next to a pavement in the park. I could make an alluring landscape with dramatic contrasts, but for now the traditional red sand backdrop will do fine. Someone asked me recently why we use sand at all. Why not leave the bottom clear? The reason why we use sand or any substrate is without it, the queen may lay her eggs on the bottom of the tub. Using a dry substrate like sand stops the colony from living outside of the test tube. I mean, you could let the colony move outside, like I've done with this greenhead colony, but then you can't see the colony since they've hidden underneath the sand. You then miss out on the milestones and being able to intently watch the colony up close. For me, I really enjoy watching the founding space. It's one of the special highlights of ant keeping. For the lid of my tub, I have attached some fly screen to the holes to prevent the workers from escaping, and it allows for good airflow for this little colony. Now is the really exciting part, moving the colony into the new home. First, add the test tube in and move the sand over the top, creating a dark area to help calm the queen and the workers dwelling inside. Just leave the water reservoir exposed so you can monitor it without causing too much disturbance. Next, pour the cotton out, releasing the colony finally to their new space. Here, I've added a piece of bark over the top of the entry of the test tube to help give them a sense of privacy. If you notice the water reservoir is looking like it's nearly empty, or if the colony looks like it needs more space, you can simply add another test tube in the sand, or if you drill a hole in the side, you can attach it there. Sometimes I wonder what must be going through their minds as they consider the next steps. When I fed this colony, they've been quite cautious and particularly aggressive compared to other Campanose species we keep. I hope this tubs and tube setup will help the colony get established and give these workers and a queen a bit of a break. If you made it this far, then make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, it really helps me out. Also, have you subscribed and become part of the AK colony? If you haven't, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe and join the ants keeping community and be a part of one of the fastest growing colonies here on YouTube. I'd love to know from you. Have you ever tried housing a queen or colony in a tubs and tube setup before? What were your results? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you everyone, I'll see you on the next video. Until then, ant keepers unite.